there's not much of a story in regards to this game. I basically bought Popful Mail like on an impulse. I recently got a Sega CD and I wanted to buy a good Sega CD game. None of these FMV, Marky Mark, Super Shark games. No, I wanted a good action platforming kind of game. And I just so happened to read it in an old issue of Game Informer, one of their articles. I don't know which one. I don't know which Game Informer issue it was, but I just remember reading about this game, and as soon as I read it, I was like, yeah, this is it. I am gonna go ahead and buy this. And that's what I did.
Two down, one to go. Get a load of this, you miscreants! Ha! Take that! Yes!
Working Designs made this game unnecessarily difficult. In the Japanese version, it was a fairly simple action platformer. You get money from enemy drops, you buy your equipment, you buy your health items, and then you basically go on to the next stage. In this version, however, it's frustrating. Enemy stats have been increased. The gold drops have been reduced. Prices have been increased. So progressing through this game was made unnecessarily difficult. And I'm guessing they did this to thwart the rental business, I guess. But it was very unnecessary to do, and it kind of hurts the game in that aspect. With these changes, you have to be aware that the enemies are going to be able to kill you like within 3 hits. So you have to be extra careful. Not to mention, killing them is going to take a while too. Instead of the usual 1 or 2 hits in a game like this, you're looking at possibly 3 to 4, even 5 hits in later stages. Now, I do have to state that the boss fights are particularly simple. All it really takes is you standing in the right spot and using the appropriate weapon. As you can see here, I'm using Mail with her boomerang and not getting hit that bad. Still, because of the stat change, you do have to realize that these boss fights are going to last a good while. So stock up on some health items, use them throughout the match, and yeah, just be aware that this kind of fights do drag on. Controlling Mel is a little bit tough. She's a little loose. She slips here and there, and her jumps aren't very accurate. It controls well. It's really responsive. The attack range is great. The variety of weapons, you know, they are good for the situations that you need them. But when it comes to actually controlling her, moving her around the screen, it's a little bit tough because as you can see right now, as I go right, I'm pretty close to the edge of the screen. And it makes it difficult to see any upcoming enemies. So you really gotta take it slow if you're in a new area. Controlling Tat and Got are actually a little bit better. They don't move as fast. So if you ever catch yourself in a platforming section, you might have an easier time using either Tat or Got. The graphics here are your basic Genesis kind of graphics. Considering it's the CD technology that they were talking about in Telton, I'm surprised it didn't try to do a little bit more. But for what's here, it's alright. I was just a little disappointed when I saw these graphics. Still, they look good for what they are. There's a lot of detail, especially in the backgrounds where there's something always going on, albeit an aurora borealis changing its colors, or an auto-scrolling cloud layer with parallax scrolling on the bottom. It looks great. It gives a lot of personality and a lot of life into this game. The character sprites look great. They're animated well, they're colorful, they got a lot of personality, their expressions are funny. They're awesome. My only complaint though is the fact that they're a tad on the small side. You see, I would prefer if Mail and Tat were actually a little bit bigger, considering they're humanoid. Although this is just nitpicking, they're fine the way they are. I would just prefer if they actually look closer to how they appeared in the cutscenes and some of the promotion material, but for what they are, they're great. Now the last thing I'm going to talk about in terms of graphics is going to be what you see right here. These cutscenes are beautifully drawn. They look great. They could use a little bit more color, but this is the Sega Genesis color palette we're talking about, and they can only do so much. But for what's here, it looks awesome. I'm glad they drew this using sprites, or should I say that I'm glad they animated this using sprites instead of resorting to FMV, which a lot of Sega CD games did back in the day. My only gripe that I have about this would be the animation. Now, it's silly of me to expect anime quality animation. They are working within the limitations of the Sega Genesis, and yeah, there's only so much they could do. That and the fact that there's a big black border around the screen, but that's only a minor hindrance or a minor nuisance. Overall, what you see here, these cutscenes, they add to the presentation of the game, and I'm glad the way they turn out.
Bring bad spooks. Is that true?
You don't have a clue! I planned the whole thing! The Overlord's back and he owes me a big favor!
Well, I could arrange for you to join him. Get the point?
Ah, please! I'm just a weak and powerless old man! Didn't your mother ever teach you to show a little respect for your elders?
Well, since you can't shield us from the Overlord's power, we might as well send you back to him.
No, you can't send me back to him! He'd mock my failure to stop you, then kill me!
Well, I could spare you the humiliation by killing you now.
Wait, Mail! Although he doesn't deserve it, please give him another chance.
All right, Tat, you got it. Just one more chance.
Thank you. Your kindness will be repaid someday.
I am a little disappointed with what they did to the music here. Instead of utilizing the CD technology of the Sega CD, instead they stuck with the FM sound synthesizer on the Sega Genesis and just used that for the musical compositions. It's not a bad thing, but if you had the CD technology there, I don't know why they didn't use it. My guess is that they already used up most of the space for like voice work, cutscenes, and some other data. But yeah, I wish they would have actually put in the extra effort and found some way to compress the music and made it better. But still, for what's here, it's acceptable. Nothing to write home about, but still, it's acceptable Genesis style music. When it comes to audio, my most favorite thing would be the voice acting. The level of performance here is top notch. These voice actors gave a lot of personality to these characters, and this was something I was not expecting from a 16-bit video game. The work here is far superior than what was available in Valis 3. And that's saying a lot. Working Designs was a small company, much smaller than NEC, and yet they were able to hire actors that gave an astounding performance. That's saying a lot. That basically shows why the TurboGrafx didn't really succeed, because they didn't really give it their all. But I'm sidetracking here. Let me go back to Popful Mail. Now, there's something I have to point out. There were a couple of lines that were changed, and I don't think they were trying to be censorious. They were mostly just, like, I guess, trying to make jokes that will be more relatable to, like, an American audience. And I don't find it too bad. There's a lot of, like, Schwarzenegger references, 90s jokes, a couple of curse words here and there. So, yeah, I don't think they were trying to be censorious. And from what I understand, this was a lighthearted kind of game anyway.
I found you! You're mine, you limping puddle of baby fat!
Oh my! Who are you?
I'm your worst nightmare, your scariest dream, your sexiest enemy, and the master of all I survey. Cower in fear before my fearsome manliness.
Get real. Do you think I'm going to fall for your steroid-induced threats? Forget it, muscles.
Listen to me now and fear me pretty soon. I am no kindergarten cop. The sissy man Fernanzio could not teach you a lesson, so I have come to terminate you. I am the predator and you are my prey. This little skirmish will be your last action, hero person. It's Judgment Day.
And there you have it, guys. Popful Mail for the Sega CD. I gotta give this game a B. It's an excellent game, lots of action, loads of fun. The only thing keeping it from an A would be the difficulty setting. They purposely made this game hard unnecessarily, and it kind of ruins the pace of the game. It leaves you like having to grind for gold continually just to go on to the next section, and it just ruins the pace a little bit. It does help that there's a save feature to kind of mitigate that, but just be forewarned that that's what you're going to expect. A lot of grinding for gold, basically. Still, it's an awesome game. I definitely do recommend it for anyone that's trying to flesh out their Sega CD collection. However, I have to warn you guys, this game is kind of pricey. I got lucky. I managed to buy this game like when it was really cheap, back in the beginning of eBay. Damn, I'm kind of old, but yeah, back in the beginning of eBay, that's when I got this game. Didn't have to spend too much money. Now, you're gonna have to spend a pretty penny. This thing is fetching for close to like $400 to $500. So, yeah, get ready for that. Anyway, this was Knockout21. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And like always, have a good one. Take care, you guys.